Okay, we're getting it sparked in here. All right. Get it. Oh, nice to have you with us. Welcome everyone to a 10-minute Spark Live. I'm Olivia Odileke, and I'm grateful you've chosen to spend a few minutes with us. I want to start with a question. Have you ever walked out of an amazing professional learning experience and completely energized, only to discover that a few weeks later, very little had actually changed? The keynote was inspiring. Breakout sessions were packed with ideas. The conversations in the hall were exactly what you needed. But when everyone returned to school, the daily demands they basically took over. Does that sound familiar to anyone? That's why today's conversation matters. We just wrapped up an incredible curiosity ED where educators from across the country challenged their thinking, shared ideas, and reimagine what's. But conferences aren't the finish line, they're the starting point. The real question is, how do we turn inspiration into sustained action? To help us explore that question, I'm honored to welcome one of the nation's most respected voices in educational leadership. He's an award winning principal, best selling author, nationally recognized speaker, and someone who has spent his career helping schools build cultures, both with adults and students, where they have an environment where you can continue to grow. So, Dr. Thomas Ely, welcome to the 10-minute Spark. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
No, it's a president. It's Principal L, like Liberty Bell in Philadelphia. Principal L.
Principal,
But
Principal L. Every time I see the EL, I think of
that's all. But I have a twin brother his name is Eli though. My twin brother
Okay,
actually.
you got a twin brother?
I sure
He
do. I
he
have
looks
a
just like
twin.
you.
No, he's not as handsome as I am, but he's close.
Because I
I'm
found out
humble.
one of the chair the executive director, or is it president of Jeremy. I was told he has a twin too. So that's
Hmm.
awesome.
Yeah,
Um
but I'm honored. I'm
one
honored to
thing
be here. I'm honored to be here and so appreciate the fact that you are not allowing educators to be a tiny spark in the lives of our young people. So it's definitely a blessing and an honor to be on here with you today.
Oh, thank you so much. So I'm going to jump right into our questions because our time is short. Many schools invest heavily
Okay.
in professional development, yet classroom practice often changes very little. Why do you think learning doesn't always transfer?
Well, as you stated earlier, oftentimes with the conferences and the one-time professional development, you have a lot of excitement around it. You have a lot of learning that may take place at that moment. But if that PD, if that professional learning is not tied to specific teacher practice, and then there's follow-up, from leadership, implementation, from teachers in the building, then after a while that spark is gone. Because if we're talking about continuous learning, continuous improvement, then there has to be that system set up where teachers can improve and where principals and school leaders can assist them. And we learn as well in that process. But that's how we retain our teachers because they love support. So being able to develop relationships with providers, it gives us a chance to be able to develop a system of continuous and ongoing learning. And that's what professional development, PD is also personal development. So when there's a connection, a tie-in to what teachers need and what teachers desire through their own feedback, then I think you begin to see better outcomes and better results in our schools.
I love the fact that you said we got to turn it into teach practice system. Um, I'm just curious. Some people keep hearing the word systems and they don't really know what does that mean to because you said teachers love feedback. So
Mhm.
I mean, if you could give me just a micro example of how a workshop come back and my principal or some of my administrative feedback so I can really implement that practice. Just a little micro like sample of how that might look.
Well, I'll give you an example. So today I had building thinking classrooms professional development for my teachers. Number one, I was there with them, in the professional development, so they see me as a learner. I model that. The impact of the educator is not based on our ability to teach solely, also our ability to learn and be curious. So my staff saw I'm a curious learner. I'm there with you. The topic really was about developing our children as thinkers, problem solvers, critical thinkers. But we as teachers, we develop our lessons around building that thinking. So when they go into their classrooms and they start implementing some of the practices that they had saw that were for them today, provided for them today, where they actually were able to take part in today examples, then I go into the room and I work with them because they know I was there, and I get to see because I was there, I know what you should be doing, and then I'm coming in often. So it's not like I come in one time, I got you. No, I'm coming in because I got you. I'm your support. I'm there and we're learning together. And when we have a system like that, they appreciate, and so they're comfortable. It's about building teaching cultures. It's about building learning cultures instead of teaching cultures. Not the one-time teaching moment, but a culture where we're learning all the time together, and also giving you that feedback so you can learn even more. Because the principal's most important job is to improve the practice of our teachers.
All time. The principal's most important
The
job is to do what?
improve the practice of our teachers and our paraprofessors, all staff, because we have people in all roles as teachers. So when I say teacher, I mean everyone in the building. You have the opportunity to teach the children the right thing or the wrong thing. But as the principal, our primary role is to help them improve that practice on a daily basis.
Thank you so much, Principal L, for
Amen.
bringing that out because I
Amen.
think we get mixed up with behavior, and behavior
Hmm.
is part of it. But if the practice is strong, behaviors go down
Right.
because you got that art going on. So let me keep moving because you're saying a lot of things got me tingling over here. So if a principal wanted to move from one-time professional development to a culture of continuous learning, what is the first leadership move you would recommend?
First leadership move I would recommend would be really to meet with my teachers and talk about developing small learning community, professional learning communities. Because when they buy in, knowing that I'm coming to you, I'm not just giving you a directive. I'm coming to you to talk to you, say, hey, let's build a community where we're all learners. And then we're gonna, when we attend this professional development, it's gonna be tied to what we see are our desires, our needs, and then we take
Need.
that and take it right to our students, right? Yeah, we do a needs assessment. What do we need? We need to develop thinkers. We need to be warm demanders. We need to have high expectations. When you don't have high expectations for children, it's disrespectful to them and their families. So we have to expect, and those children expect us to come in with our best on a daily basis. So I'm meeting, developing those learning communities, and then right away following up with them all the time about those practices that we talk about, that practice what you preach. My mother said that when I was a kid. I didn't realize it would become my mantra as a principal. But practice what you preach. If we're talking about making sure that all children can and will learn, then we need to be teaching like that. And like you said, that engagement is important. That the curriculum is powerful, but the engagement before information, that's how we build joyful, engaging, and challenging classrooms.
Mm. We're gonna really need to be talking because a lot of what you're saying, we've built into our Lead Spark Team platform that building structural learning community, identifying instructional challenges, not behavioral challenges, and getting students.
Right.
The goal is Campus Insights. We define effective instruction is measured by how deeply students think every day. That is
Mm-hmm.
effective instruction, how students thinking every day, and getting that back in the loop to the PLC. So I'm loving this. That idea really stands out. As leaders, we often ask to solve problems quickly, but maybe our greatest isn't having all of the answers, because that's what I'm hearing. Maybe it's creating the conditions where teachers keep learning together when adults remain curious. Students notice when
Right.
teachers model learning. students begin believing they can learn too and they can grow too. So the culture isn't created by announcements. That's what it sounds like I'm hearing you say. It's not about
Right.
just the faculty meeting. It's about how you creating this learning community of learners and you yourself modeling being a learner. And it's created by repeated experiences. So I'm hearing that. I got one final question for you.
Okay.
When schools commit to learning in cycles, because that
Mhm.
PLC is like a cycle instead of events. What changes do you begin to see in teacher practice, student thinking, and the culture of the school?
When you get into a continuous cycle of improvement, right? When you a continuous cycle of learning, those learning cultures, not teaching cultures. Teachers feel excited. Often people think they're tired, but they're really uninspired. So they are inspired to want to do more. They don't feel bored anymore. They feel like, wow, teaching is fun. You bring in the joy back into the school. The students see the spark in the teacher. We want to bring spark in the dark, so we want to make sure that those students are able to see that those teachers are excited about learning. And I think, and then what happens is the end result is when you have teachers who are joyful and happy about being there, then they come back every year. Then you don't have that issue with teacher retention, and they go out and recruit. The best form of recruitment is retention. So when you have a system set up to empower learners, to lift up folks, then they will go out and yell on the mountaintop. You need to be working in my school so people are not knocking the door down to get out. They're knocking the door down to get in.
And I can believe that. I mean, I
Yes.
want to go work for you right now. I want to
Oh,
be one of your
stop, stop,
school
stop,
working
stop,
alongside
stop,
me because the
stop.
thing is, I've done a lot of in-depth interviews with teachers, and the
Mhm.
number one thing they tell me, they would like to collaborate more with administrators.
Collaboration is the key.
Collaborate, not you
Colla-
dictate.
yeah. Mm-mm.
Collaborate. Like, let's talk
Yeah.
about our needs. Let's talk about our challenges. And what does support look like for teams? How does this look for your team versus that team? Because we got to start using team language and not individual language. So
Well,
I just
teamwork makes the dream work. And when people know that you listen, when leaders listen, look, listening can be healing for some people. So when teachers know you listen, they know they feel valued, they feel respected, they feel heard, they feel seen. That's how you develop a culture of belonging. When people feel like I belong here, then they will knock down the wall for those children. And then also it ensures that every child knows that they have somebody crazy about them.
somebody crazy. Actually, I wrote a song called When People Feel Seen. I got a
I
song.
need.
And
Please
it's
send it to me. Send it to me.
specifically, no, I usually I song. I was thinking of that
Oh,
song since you just said it, or
yeah.
when learning was alive, but feel seen. We're gonna end it with that tonight. So
Let's
thank
go.
you, El. This wasn't simply a conversation about PD. It was really a conversation about leadership because leadership isn't measured by
Yes.
the workshops we provide. It's measured by
Mhm.
the learning culture we create.
Yes. Amen.
And that's what I kept hearing you. Learners, we are learners. We're modeling, we're helping the students because we're learning too. So for every day, here's the question I'd love to carry for you through the rest of this week. One learning experience. I'm sorry, I want to rephrase that. What's one learning experience your staff needs that can't be another one-day workshop? So I'm going to repeat that. What's one learning experience your staff needs that can't be solved by another one-day workshop? I want you to sit with that, talk about it with your leadership team because meaningful change doesn't happen when people attend learning. It's when people become learners. That's really the key. You don't attend the learning, you become the learner. And if today's conversation sparks something for you, I want to let you know, keep in tune with our 10-minute sparks in talks about planning our Spark Curiosity leadership experience next fall. So until next time, keep asking better questions, keep leading with curiosity, keep creating schools where everyone continues to learn. I'm Olivia, and this has been the 10-minute Spark. Principal L, anything you want when people feel seen?
No, I just want folks out there to know that leadership is about service. You don't serve, you can't lead. Let's start serving these teachers and staff members and building powerful and meaningful professional learnings experiences for them. Thank you, sis.
I love that.
People feel seen.
Like
No, I'm happy.
all the songs are available at
Yeah.
educator.com. So make sure you can go there and get more
Walked in the room with
inspiration.
my head down low, smile on my face, but nobody know.
Who is
Carrying
this your
pressure I
voice?
don't ever show.
I
Trying
created
to
it with
blow when
AI
the cold winds
voices.
blow. Teacher tired, but she still
I
gon'
love
stay.
it.
Teacher tired, but she still gon' stay. Giving her heart while it fades away. Meetings, numbers, things to display. But who asked if she's okay? Young boy quiet in the back row seat. Whole world heavy, can barely speak. One kind word made his soul heartbeat. Now he believe he got something to be. Maybe people don't need perfection. Maybe they just need connection. Do I matter here? Can you see me clear? Past the grades, the noise, the fear. Do I matter here? I rise when I'm seen. I grow when I'm heard. Sometimes one kind voice can change my whole world. Seen people rise, unseen people disappear.
I love that. Seeing people rise, unseen people disappear.
Seen people
Right.
rise,
That's
unseen
right.
people disappear. Frequency different when love walk in.
Well,
Kids
if you
start
guys want to
hiding,
hear more,
teachers
you
start
know where
winning.
to find it. Fearless Educator Radio, fearlesseducator.com. We got over 120 songs, and we even have a little tab where you can create your music. So we'll Wednesday. So go out, leaders, see the people in your building and see yourself as a learner and see them as learners too.